Do you want to know the 7 habits of 7-figure entrepreneurs? Well, if so, watch this video. My name is Dariel Kame. I'm the CEO of Healthpreneur, a New York Times bestselling author. And for the past 20 years, I've been building 7 and 8-figure businesses online. And more importantly, I've been helping thousands of other health experts and coaches do just that. I've worked with a lot of people and I've recognized some patterns. And if you want to know what success looks like, let me share it with you. So the first habit successful entrepreneurs have in common is they start their day with organized intention. They get out of bed and they know exactly what they're doing. So they don't get out of bed and think to themselves, what should I do today? No. They've already determined the day before. They write out their top priorities on a cue card. They go to bed exactly feeding their mind what they're going to tackle the next day so that when they get up, they can get right into it. So if you want to be a more productive and effective entrepreneur, the single most important thing you can do as a starting point is write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. That feeds the subconscious, it gives you direction so that when you get up in the morning, boom, you're off to the races. The second habit they have in common is they tackle the most important things first. So Brian Tracy has a book called Eat That Frog, which is essentially do the most uncomfortable, scary, but yet important work first thing in the morning. And so typically as the CEO or founder of your business, these are going to be things that have some relation to your messaging, your offers, you sharing your awesomeness with the world. And so what you want to do in your business is always identify what is the one thing at any given moment that needs solving. There's usually a constraint in the business, a bottleneck that is preventing the business from growing. And on a daily basis, definitely on a weekly basis, you want to identify what that is, and most of your time needs to be focused on that. The reason some businesses grow a lot faster than others is because the founder or the CEO is not solely focused on that constraint. And I've been guilty of this as well. Kind of almost finished, fully tackling it, but not quite. But if you fully tackle that one constraint and you do that first thing every day, your business will grow lightning fast. So it's really about identifying what's most important and doing that every single day. Because your goal as a leader is to identify which wall do I put the ladder up against, right? They talk about management is knowing how to climb the ladder. Leadership is about knowing which wall to put the ladder up against. And that's essentially prioritization or allocation of resources, which in your case is allocation of your time, energy, and focus. Third habit they have in common is they get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is one of the most important things of entrepreneurship, is understanding that entrepreneurship is the most unbelievable personal growth journey you could ever ask for. It is full of highs and lows. It is it's a roller coaster, right? And I'm sure you've already experienced this. If you can get to a point, and you certainly can, where you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable, your business and your personal life will improve. A lot of people want growth, but they don't want discomfort. And you can't have one without the other. Discomfort is the price you pay to have growth, right? Success, there's a price to pay for that. Not necessarily monetarily, but it's the risk. It's working the longer hours. It's doing what most people are not willing to take on. The reason entrepreneurs get paid more is because they're willing to take on more discomfort and risk than everyone else that maybe works within their company. And so that's why you are willing to take on more yourself, and to whom takes on the most risk also gets the most reward. So discomfort can show itself in a multitude of ways. Having hard conversations, having to let somebody go, having to hold somebody accountable and giving them honest feedback. That's more of a people thing. Discomfort can also be you have to do sales calls and maybe you're not that great at it yet. Or, maybe you're having to learn a new skill in the business that is so foreign to you, but it's also something important that you want to develop. It could be, going through tough times financially, betting on yourself and betting on your business, even though you're not sure what the outcomes are going to look like. All of these are uncomfortable situations that have potentially big payoffs. And the reason entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs is because we're usually willing to do that. And that's why I think this is so amazing, is the more you do that stuff, the more you have reference points for things being okay. Having been in business now for 20 years, I've gone through, economic downturns, everything you can possibly think of. And I'm still here. And I've thrived through all of that. And I've had highs and lows. And every single time I have a high, I'm like, cool, it's not going to last forever. So don't be too high on the horse. But also when there's a low, it's this too shall pass. And I just think back to reference points. Remember, oh yeah, remember that time when this happened and we still got through it? We're going to be okay. And so I think if you can modulate the up and down roller coaster and make the amplitude a lot smaller so it's more neutral, you're going to feel better throughout the process and you're going to look at things with less volatility. So you're able to take on quote unquote discomfort with a lot more grace. The fourth habit that they all have in common is feeding their mind daily. I mean, I've talked about this many times before, like just get the phone out of the way, like lock it away. Just don't even turn it on. Don't look at your phone for the first several hours of the day. It's not going to set you in a good, like you're naturally just going to go to email, social, you're going to be like doom scrolling. It's all reactive. Nothing is going to come of that. But instead, just pick up a book, right? Pick up a book that inspires you, like something that feeds your mind. It could be a page or 2 or 10 minutes. Doesn't really matter what it is, but just start feeding your mind with some type of inspiring reading. As an example, in my bathroom, I have this huge book. It's called the Prosperity Bible. And it's like the best writings of all time on success and wealth and prosperity. And it's like this massive book. So when I go to the washroom, instead of being on my phone, which let's be honest, all of us do, I don't have my phone and I just pick up the book and I read a couple pages. So I'm like, cool, I get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, kind of. So little things like that can make a huge difference. Again, you don't necessarily have to read first thing in the morning, but every single day you want to be feeding your mind, whether it's reading. I love listening to things, whether it's podcasts or audiobooks, but I'm also a big fan of watching videos. I learn a lot on YouTube. My kids, not so much. They watch YouTube and it's just brain rot, which is unfortunate because there's so much great stuff like this video on YouTube. So whether you're watching a YouTube video, listening to a podcast, or reading a book, feed your mind daily, but be very mindful of your inputs. Because just like your body will become a reflection of what you feed it, your mind will become a reflection of what you feed it. And if you feed your mind the wrong inputs, the output, which is your life, will change dramatically. So I like news, forget about it. I don't care who got shot, what's going on in the world. I don't care. I have no control over it. It has no impact on my life. I don't need to know about it. And that's a choice I've made a long time ago. And I would strongly recommend that you look at the inputs you have in your life, whether they're from media or people, and really remove the negativity as much as possible. So you're only feeding your mind with the right inputs that are going to put you in a better position to make the future you want a reality. Hey, we'll get back to the video in just a moment, but if you're enjoying this content, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I've got videos coming your way every single week until I die, and I don't plan on dying anytime soon. And what that means for you is that you'll be getting my best insights to help you grow your health business online faster without the grind and without all the guesswork. But the reality is this. I'm not asking for a lot, just a simple little commitment, which is for you to subscribe to the channel right now. And that way you can get notified every single time we're dropping a new video to help you grow faster. So all you have to do right now is hit that subscribe button below. It will help me sleep a lot better at night. But more importantly for you, it'll help you build your dream a lot faster. So go ahead, subscribe, and we'll get back to the show. Habit number 5 is they continually invest in themselves. That's one of the most important things, hands down. I struggled in business for the first 3 years, 20 years ago, because I thought I could figure everything out on my own. 2010, I invested in my first coach. Since then, I've invested more than $1.6 million in coaching, masterminds, mentorship, because I don't have all the answers, nor do you. And the thing is, the time when you need it the most is when you sometimes can't afford it. It's like, going to a trainer and saying, like, I'm really out of shape. But you know what? Let me work out first. Let me get in shape and then I'll come back and hire you. And I get why people do this. Like, I really need help to grow my business, but I can't afford to invest in coaching to grow the business. I get that, but it's like a chicken and egg question. You have to find a way to make it happen. Successful people don't worry about their resources. They focus on being resourceful. So at the very minimum, investing in yourself is going to start with self-education. Buy a book. $30. We can all afford that. Cool. Get a course. Self-directed, couple $100. You can do that. Next level up, get a coach, but also be very careful because you always get what you pay for. And when people come to us, and they're like, well, like, how much is it? And they're like, okay, here it is. And they're like, well, like, that's, I'm looking at some other one who's like someone else who's like 10 times less. I'm like, cool. So, sounds like you should go with them, but just, remember, you always get what you pay for. Did you ever question why they're 10 times less than we are? Right? So wherever you invest your money, the most important thing you can do is invest in yourself. 62% of American adults are invested in the stock market, which I find absolutely insane, considering the average return on a yearly basis is 9% over the last 100 years. Can you imagine, like, if you invested $100,000 to work with me, not that it's that much, but just as an example, and you made $9,000 profit on that over the course of a year, you'd think that this is the biggest scam of all time. I mean, our average client sees a 314% return on investment. Yet a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work for me. I'm like, good, it's not going to work for you. I don't work with people who don't think they're going to win. Go take your money and play it safe. But remember, playing it safe, small rewards. People who bet on themselves, big rewards. And when you invest in yourself, you can never lose. If you have $100,000 sitting around and you're like, Yuri, what should I do with this? I'm like, invest all of it in yourself until the point where you've built your skill level to a point where it's, like you can't even continue investing in yourself. Like, yes, you can hire other people, but you still have to learn the skill of leading and managing other people. And that's something you can learn and develop and get mentorship around. You're going to invest $100,000 in the stock market in companies you have no idea about, you have no control over. Like, it's crazy for a 9% return. Like, kill me. Invest in yourself every single day of the week. Number 6, and that flows with what we just talked about, is the most successful entrepreneurs I've worked with, they're always leveling up their skills, period. Marketing, sales, leadership, communication, whatever it is, you're constantly leveling up your skills. And as an example, you figure out where you are in the journey of your business. And if you're sub 1 million, here's a quick tip. The only thing that matters is that you make money. That's it. That's the only thing you have to do. Marketing, sales, marketing, sales, marketing, sales, marketing, sales, marketing, sales, nothing else. Marketing, sales, marketing, sales, marketing, sales. You're good enough as it is to deliver a great service to your clients, okay? Do not delegate marketing and sales. You will F up your business, 100% guaranteed. You have to learn the skill. But Yuri, I don't want to do this forever. I don't give a shit. You're not going to have a business to even run forever if you don't learn the skill. Marketing is messaging. Marketing is generating demand. Marketing is putting offers in front of people that they can't resist. Sales is having conversations with people that help them do what's best for them. If you don't know how to have those conversations, if you don't know how to build those skills, you're toast. You're toast. Okay? Be willing to build the skills. Skills pay the bills. And the 7th habit, high performers, top level entrepreneurs prioritize their health and well-being. I have 2 friends who are very successful entrepreneurs, and they both passed away during COVID. Okay. Now, I don't know exactly why. That's open for debate, but they smoked, they drank, they were somewhat overweight. Now, needless to say, I don't really hang out with people like that. I just kind of like knew them. I'm not like super close, but I don't hang out with people who smoke and drink and who are overweight. It's not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, that's up to you, but I'm hanging around with people that are healthy, that are active, that are into fitness, that prioritize their health and well-being, because that was my journey. I mean, I played pro soccer. I was in health forever. I don't know any other way to live. And I just know that to build a business requires a tremendous amount of energy, endurance, and stamina. And if you're not in good shape, you're going to have a very, very tough time. Also, what's the point of building a great business and having all this money if you're dead, right? What's the point of doing all this if you don't have enough energy at the end of the day to be present with your family? What's the point? So every single day, figure out what that's going to be for you, right? Whether it's, yoga, walking, working out, it doesn't matter to me. But I think it makes a tremendous amount of difference when you just, especially if you're a health expert, like you have to kind of look the part, okay? I had a personal training manager many, many years ago who was severely overweight. I'm like, dude, I can't even take you seriously. You're managing the personal training departments and you're easily 100 pounds overweight. Sorry, people judge. It is what it is. I mean, I lost my hair when I was 17 years old, just in case you're wondering, to an autoimmune condition. That's what got me into the world of health, right? You can certainly say, well, Yuri, I wouldn't take health advice from you. Like, hey, that's fine. Totally understand that. But the reality here is that if you make your health a priority, well, you'll win, because to the man or woman who has health, they have unlimited wishes. To the person who doesn't, they only have one. And that one wish is for their health to be better. So make sure you have your priorities in check. So those are the 7 habits that I've noticed amongst the most successful entrepreneurs, health experts, and coaches that I've worked with over the past 20 years. If they served you, amazing. Before you leave, 2 things. Hit that subscribe button. We've got hundreds of other videos to help you build a thriving online health business. And 2, if you want a behind the scenes look at our $1 million health coaching model, which is the business model that we install into all of our clients' businesses, that's helped them generate more than $217 million in revenue. I walk you through the whole thing in this video right here. Check it out next, and I'll see you there.